Lindy-Ann is an evangelist. She works in science, miracles and wonders, and she literally travels the nation. And wherever she goes, people get radically saved, impacted, people get sick, get healed. It's literally science, miracles and wonders follow her. And today it's my great honor and my privilege to introduce her to you and to hand this microphone over to her.
John 4, verse 19. We love each other because He loved us first. I've been away now for 2.5 months, traveling, seeing God love the broken. And one thing I come home with is such a gratitude for my salvation. Because I see people that God is willing to meet wherever they are at. It's the radical love of God. And I want us to experience that today. Because love changes everything. Love changes people. Love changes lives. Love changes city. We can listen to all speakers and the most best, whatever is all we want. But if we have not love, we have nothing. Amen. And I've had an exciting time. I got to go 4 days in America. I saw a mute child speaking. I saw fibromyalgia healed. I saw someone with hips that were completely skewed and a rib cage that was so skewed that if she put her hands on the ribs, it looked like this. And she said, I've made peace with the fact that this is my thorn in the flesh. I said, no, my friend, the thorn in the flesh does not refer to sickness. It refers to persecution. Did you ever see Jesus say to someone, sorry, this is your thorn in the flesh? She said, no. He healed everyone. I said, exactly, this is your day. And right there we watched as her ribs and her hips went right back into alignment. That's our God, that's our King. I flew from there to Germany. I saw amazing things. Austria, France. I went to Lourdes, the big Mary shrine. I went to the Health Fest with Esme. Saw people getting touched. Tattoo interpretations. We saw amazing things. Went to Holland. I'll share a bit about that specifically today. Prague, Romania, Budapest. And one thing I've noticed that God is the same. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow, and everywhere across the earth. For God so loved the world that He gave, and He gave, and He gave, and He still gives. And on Friday night, I was at Deep River. And this man walks in, and I could smell him from the other side of the room. And I think to myself, how would I have responded if he was a different man? How would I have responded if that man who fell on the floor in front of everyone and no one moved? How would I have responded if he was in a suit? He stank so much, and I said, Lord, can you just take the smell away? I want to go minister to him. And I walked over to him, and I put my hand on him. And all I could smell was cinnamon. But I was so convicted in my heart. You know, in 1 John 4, it says, God is love, and all who live in Him live in God, and God lives in them. And as we live in God, our love grows more perfect. So we will not be afraid on the day of judgment, but we can face Him with confidence because we live like Jesus here in this world. Such love has no fear, because perfect love expels all fear. If we are afraid, it is fear of punishment. And this shows that we have not fully experienced His perfect love. And I think of that man, and I think You know, he smelled like alcohol and he smelled like the world, basically. And I thought of that man. I just thought, what was his expectation when I came closer? Did he think that maybe we're going to kick him out? Did he think that we're going to say, hey, you can't lie here and cry out to God in the middle of worship? You have to go sit on the seat. How many people, when we approach him in the world, think that we're going to slap him in the face? We're just going to judge him for their sin. But it's not what God does. God comes and He's willing to meet us exactly where we're at. And when I went to Holland, I had a surprise of my life. The last thing I was expecting. I was invited there to, also, I was already in Europe, and someone contacted me, said, hey, do you have spare time on your tour? Can you come and teach our church evangelism? So that was going to be the Thursday through the Sunday, but I was already arriving on Monday. My first time in Amsterdam, and I said to the girl, hey, if there's anyone connected to the red light district, I'd love to go see what it looks like. I'd like to go minister there. And I've been to many places where I can relate. You know, you think, oh, religion, I've been there, done that, no thank you. Oh, I've seen this. I couldn't relate to the heavy metal people at all, but okay, praise the Lord. But it doesn't matter if you're heavy metal, you're a pimp, a prostitute, or whatever. At the end of the day, or a man in a suit at Camps Bay drinking a cocktail at Capri's, we're all looking for love, and His name is Jesus. And that's what the world needs, and that's what God says. If love is living inside of you, you will walk like Jesus. Go into all the world, set the captives free, preach the gospel, heal the sick. How are you doing? We need the love of God. We need the revelation of His perfect love to go into that place. And I went into the red light district, and now for those who don't know what it's like, I hope none of you have gone there as a tourist, because that's just sad. But it's basically, you have a door, and it has a glass panel. And there's a small little cubicle, just this size, and there's a bar stool, and sitting on the bar stool, there's a girl in the sexiest underwear outfit that she can kind of come up with. And she's literally sitting there under a red light, and she's waiting for someone to see her, and then to knock on the door and go inside. And as they go inside, there's a little pathway, and at the back there's a bed. And that is the brothels that are legal business in Amsterdam. And anyone, even families with their children, you will find them there on the street, looking and laughing. You're not allowed to take photos, but I'm sure everyone would be taking selfies if they could. And in that moment, the first time I went out and I spoke to this girl, she just said, this is not such a bad job. I'm just here to make money. And my heart just broke, and I went to this place called the Tabernacle. It's a prayer house in the middle of Red Light District. Beautiful place. But my heart started to explode for these girls. And I realized these are the princesses of the Lord. These are people that God has destined. And those girls are not like what we see on Seapoint Main Road. We're talking about girls that can be on the runway for Victoria's Secret. That can be the front cover of any model magazine, that are drop dead gorgeous. They are so beautiful. And they're standing there with an advert, pick me. And I went into that room and I started to weep. And I said, God, you must give me the keys to these girls. Because that first girl I spoke to, I had nothing to say to her. I don't know. I just said, man, God loves you. Yeah, I'll get to Jesus one day, she says. Now I need to make some money, she says. And what moved me the most is that I know if Jesus didn't save me, that could have been me. I was a prostitute. I never charged money though. It was never official, but I acted like one. I would advertise myself. Anyone who tells me that they love me. I was so desperate for love. I'm walking around in Edward Street trying to find someone. I don't care if they could be my grandpa, as long as they love me. And I see the men that go into these rooms, they are looking for love. People are looking for love everywhere. And in that moment, I just said, God, I'm so grateful that you saved me, because this could have been me. This could have been me. And I said, Lord, I want one woman to have an encounter like the woman at the well. One touch from God. You know, when Jesus found the woman at the well, we all know that parable. She came because she was thirsty. You know, she was actually a prostitute. And she came to get water. It's in John 5. She came to get water. And what did Jesus do? He didn't say, hey, the water you're drinking is bad. He said, I've got something better for you. I've got something better for you. If you taste what I can provide for you, you're never going to go back to this old water. And I said, Lord, that's what I want to see in the red light district. I want to see one girl so impacted that she runs and she tells the rest of the village about Jesus. And I was weeping and weeping and weeping on my face. And my friend said, Sonia, she's South African living there. She said, you know, my friend, your tears unlocked the scroll in heaven. That's what happened with John when he went up. It said he cried and the scroll was unlocked. It opened up. And when I walked back into the streets of the red light district, I was a completely different person. And the anointing of the Lord, I walked like a queen into that district. And I would walk up and was the Lord and him alone. And I would walk up to a girl and I'd knock on the window and she'd know I'm not a client. And she said, no, I don't want to talk now. And I said, what about that pain in your shoulder right there? She said, how do you know about that? And I just pushed my hand into that door. I said, be healed in Jesus' name. Russian girl. She's standing there in her underwear. She has a chain attached to her from her bra to a piece around her neck. Heels like this. And what do you think she expected from a Christian meeting her on the street? Instead, God came, and His perfect love casts out that fear of punishment and judgment. And I just touched her, and she said, what are you doing to me? I'm on fire, I'm on fire, I'm on fire. And Fritz Rose, what a legend. 11 years he's been working on the streets. He was in Furious Love. I got to be on the streets with him. He was taking me around. I was doing the talking. He said, do you want to let us in and we can pray for you in the back room? Yeah, he's good at that. So that before I knew it, here I go down the little alley. And where they do their business, the business of our Father came in that room. That's the love of our God. Girls got saved. This girl was so hot. She said, I have to put the air conditioning on. What are you doing to me? What are you doing to me? She put the AC on. She's standing there in her heels and her underwear. And the Lord meets her out there. Amazing love. How can it be that you, my King, would die for me? The whole time on the trip, I was just thinking, that song, Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. All of us have fallen short of the glory of the Lord. All of us. But I'm so glad that His arm is not too short. He can reach you and meet you wherever you are, no matter how depressed you are, how broken you are, how deep in whatever you are. It doesn't matter. God is willing to fetch you exactly where you are. All you have to do is reach out to Him. And the crazy thing is, we don't even have to reach out to Him. He comes running after us first. That prostitute, aka Princess of the Most High God, she went and she told all the other prostitutes what happened to her. The next day I got a message on Facebook from a girl who knew me from preaching there a year ago in a city about 2-3 hours away. She said, Lindy-Ann, I don't know if you remember me, but I remember you. I was out on the streets volunteering today in the red light district. And 2 of the girls came out of the brothel thinking that I am you. They were wondering if I'm the girl that's been praying for the sick because they want prayer as well. People are very offended with the love of God. Even the people, the laborers that were those laborers that came in the last hour and they got the same wages as the rest. They've been working their arse off all day. Let's not be like them. Because that's the thing, some people are going to roll in just before they breathe their last breath. But he paid the price. We don't have to, so we don't have to complain. I went back on the streets and I met this one girl, and she marked my heart forever. She was Hungarian. And I went into that room, knocked on the door. She's standing there, with little plastic boobies and her bra and a little skirt and heels like this. She has these diamonds embedded in her skin. Beautiful. She's a mother of 2. She's trying to give her children the life she didn't have. Who knows how she got there? And the Lord just said, Lindy-Ann, your heart's testimony is these girls' testimony. It's rejection, fear that you're not loved, needing affirmation, attention. Say to the girls, how do you feel when the guy walks by and he picks the girl next door? Terrible. People are people. People are people. We're all looking for the same thing. And you know, those girls would say to me, I come there, and they say, you're so beautiful, so elegant. Wow. And then they're like 100 million times more pretty than me. And then they are like gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous woman. But they could just see when beauty is not perverted. When beauty has been restored to purity. It's only something the Lord can do. And that girl, we went into the back room with her. I saw so many prostitutes' beds. His love is extravagant. His love is unfailing. It's never ending. He's always pursuing. He's a radical lover with an agenda to steal the hearts of every single person on the earth. I think I saw about 8 prostitutes give their lives to Jesus. People getting healed. People getting saved. Words of knowledge. God was just giving words of not telling me this one has this one has that. So no, I don't believe in miracles. I say, what about that lower back being healed right now? And she says, hey. The next one said, hey. Then they say, okay, come into the room with us. They take us to the brothel. So we want to give our lives to Jesus. John 8. The woman caught in adultery. A crowd soon gathered, and he sat down and taught them. As he was speaking, the teachers of religious law and the Pharisees brought a woman who had been caught in the act of adultery. They put her in front of the crowd. Caught in the act of adultery. Maybe she was naked. She definitely smelled like the world. Teacher, they said to Jesus, this woman was caught in the act of adultery. Wonder where the man was. The law of Moses says to stone her. What do you say? They weren't even after her, really. They were trying to trap Jesus. They were just using her. She was used before, now she's being used again for something else. They were trying to trap him into saying something they could use against him. But Jesus stooped down and rubbed the dust with his finger. God is not scared to get dirty on our behalf. He humbled himself from royalty to a nobody to die on the cross for us. I'm so embarrassed by his love for us. They kept demanding an answer, so he stood up again and said, all right, but let the one who has never sinned throw the very first stone. Then he stooped down again and wrote in the dust. When the accusers heard this, they slipped away one by one, beginning with the oldest until only Jesus was left in the middle of the crowd with the woman. Then Jesus stood up again and said to the woman, where are your accusers? Didn't even one of them condemn you? Can you imagine being in that situation? It's the same story as the woman at the well. Because in that moment, she realizes, I'm talking to the Messiah. And I realize he knows all my good, my bad, and my ugliest of ugliest. And what is he going to do? Is he going to punish me? Can you imagine sitting there on the floor before Jesus? Possibly no clothes on, or only some clothes on, embarrassed, caught in the act of adultery, and uitgesleep al to the dust. and you're sitting there and you're looking out, and the only pure man on the earth is standing in front of you, the only one who is actually valid to punish you. And I think, like, how afraid she must have been, how scared that woman must have been, thinking, well, if anyone can stone me, it can be the very man standing in front of me right now. But no, it says that perfect love, the revelation of perfect love, casts out all fear of punishment. God is love. Did even one of them condemn you, said Jesus. No, Lord, she said. And Jesus said, neither do I. Go and sin no more. And today I want to pray for people to encounter the love of God. Let's stand to our feet. Amazing love, how can it be that you, my King, would die for me? Amazing love, I know it's true, that my King would die for me. Thank you, Lord. We love you, God. We love your presence, God. It says that if He is in you, you will be like Him. If He is in you, you will be like Him. He humbled Himself and He goes into the back room of brothels to go meet the lost and the broken. I don't love like that, but I said, yes, Lord. Here I am, Lord, send me. Break my heart for what breaks yours. And that's our prayer today, Lord. Oh, amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Holy Spirit is just coming right now. He's touching people all across the room. You know, sometimes the hardest person to convince to love you is you yourself. One of the biggest battles I face is overcoming disappointment. I'll see 100 people healed in one meeting, but that one person that didn't get healed. I'll be so sad and so disappointed. I get disappointed in myself because I know God's not the problem. And just this week, and I'm going to pray this for some people too, I was jogging and I was sitting on the couch and I just got quiet before the Lord and I said, Lord, are you disappointed with me? And he picked me up into his lap. And suddenly he picked me up into his hand like trapeze artist, and I'm standing on his hand. And he's got me in front of thousands of people, and like he puts me up like, this is my trophy, this is my prize. And he puts me up in the air and he's like, I'm so proud of you, I'm so proud of you. And suddenly that person, me, I turn into gold, and I realize I'm an Oscar. I'm an Oscar award. And Jesus is wearing a black and white suit with a black bow tie and everything. He says, I'm so proud of you. And I want to tell you today, God is so proud of you. He's so proud of you. He's so proud of you. There's grace for your journey. It's a journey of grace. It's growing in His perfect love. It's realizing He says, this is my champion. This is my trophy. This is my beloved daughter, my son with whom I'm well pleased. And I give you permission to forgive yourself. I give you permission to be able to handle the tension between faith to move a mountain and just trying to survive on the other side. God is going to pour out a wave of His love right now. He's already started. And if you can already feel Him coming on your body, we're going to lay hands on people here in the front. Just start running up to the front. If you're already experiencing the love of God throughout this meeting, you've been starting to cry, shake, peace come on you, whatever it is. And God is going to activate some people to die to self and to start loving people like He loves them. Just start receiving wherever you are. Amazing love. Father God, we let go of all the fear of punishment. That Lord, as we sit on the floor, wherever people are on the floor before you, and they look up to your face, expecting to be slapped in the face, but instead they look into the eyes of love, and you look down and you say, this is my daughter, with whom I'm well pleased. Go and sin no more. Sin is just missing God's best for you. It's simply drinking from a well that isn't the rivers of living water that He has for you. Those in the front, just step right forward because a lot of people coming up. Thank you, babe. Come, Holy Spirit. Touch us afresh. The spirit of fear, fear of punishment, self-condemnation, self-hatred, religion that always demands another sacrifice. You loose these people now in the name of Jesus. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. And we release the perfect love of God right now to cast out all fear. All fear. I call body, soul, and spirit into alignment. Fall, fall, fall. And then some of the leaders come up. Thank you, Lord. We love you, Father. Increase. Increase. Just can we have some men up here, please? Thank you, Lord. Increase. 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 You're never too far. You're never too broken. Come on, listen. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord, that we can look you in the face. We can look you in the face without any fear. Knowing that you are for us, you're not against us. Come, Holy Spirit. Come, Holy Spirit. Come, Holy Spirit.
Amazing love, how can it be? Sweet my King to die for me. Amazing love, I know it's true. It's my joy to honor you. I'll forgive you, 'cause you were forsaken, and I've accepted you were condemned, and I'm alive and well. Spirit is within me, because you died and you rose again. Amazing love, how can it be? To my King should die for me. Amazing love, I know it's true. It's my joy to honor you. Amazing love, amazing love, how can to my King should die for me. Amazing love, I know it's true. It's my joy to honor you. Such amazing love.
Don't miss this opportunity.
How can it be? Sweet my King should die for me. Amazing love, I know it's true. It's my joy to honor you in all I do. Honor you.
More Lord, more Jesus. More Jesus. Increase every person here. Spirit of rejection. Rejection, I command you to leave these people. Fear of rejection, to lose. I release the spirit of adoption in the room right now. Go, 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 go. Every spirit, perverse spirit that has been keeping the daughters and the sons of God in captive, I break your power now in Jesus' name. I give each person here permission to love yourself, to be loved by God, to receive His free gift of love. He loves you not because of what you've done or not because of what you've not done. He loves you because He chose to. He loves you because He sees something. He sees something in you. Come, Holy Spirit, more. More. Just come up right in front, people.
You slew outside my grave. With tears streaming on your face.
Jesus. You're not walking with Jesus. Maybe someone brought you to church. You don't know the love of God. You haven't surrendered everything to you. To Him. I want to tell you, He surrendered everything to you. We think we come to serve Him, but actually He came to serve us first. He's the King that humbled Himself to serve us, to love us first. Is there anyone Muslim with the pain? A lot of you knew that I'd be here. I carry a gift of miracles. Where are the sick unbelievers? How did you entice them to come? Some to us not just to go to church, but to be the church. All the earth is waiting for the sons and daughters. So right now I release courage. I release courage and boldness to preach the gospel, to catch fish. I was walking by Magic Forest. This guy has 5 rods in the water. 5 rods in the water. I say, yes, I thought it's illegal. Yeah, people also here with their mountain bikes. And yet I saw him pull out a fish like this. He said he pulled out a big one like this earlier in the day. Jesus said, I'll teach you to be fishers of men. It's time to start fishing. It's time to start fishing. Release your presence, God. More. Release your presence, more. marriages and relationships. And I release unity. I release love. I release trust to be restored. Every spirit of pornography that has been haunting the bride, I break your power in Jesus' name. I release the angel of purity in the house in Jesus' name. Thank you, Lord. Hold fire for everyone, Lord. Level up, level up, level up, level up. Quickly come up if you haven't received prayer yet. Come on up.
Miracle working God.